What's up, good people out there in War Room Nation? Welcome to another edition of Court Vision, brought to you, of course, by the Sports Kings and War Room Sports. I'm your host, Devin McMillan, and I'm here with my homies. We got Andy of Sports Kings.
What's going on?
We got B. Austin, War Room Sports.
I only debate my equals. The rest of y'all, I'm just teaching.
We got Frank, Sports Kings.
Shout out to the Pride of Pensacola, Reggie Evans.
And we got Jimmy the Blueprint from War Room Sports.
Swaggy P, keep shooting.
All right, fellas. Of course,
Sure.
this is our show, our weekly show where we talk everything NBA. So we're going to get it started down in Houston. We've been talking about Houston a lot lately, and it's mostly had, a lot to do with Dwight Howard. This time, it's Dwight Howard's backup, Omer Asik. He's been disgruntled ever since the Houston Rockets acquired Dwight Howard, but now, he's kind of stepping up his game, his trade game, because he wants to be traded from the Houston Rockets. What do you guys see, in the future for this whole situation? Are the Rockets going to get rid of him? Because I'm hearing rumors that they're just going to give him what he wants.
I don't see how this can play out well. Considering been requesting for a trade ever since. He hasn't stopped, and actually, from all reports, he's asking more and more for a trade. So I don't see how this works out well. They're not even giving him his adequate minutes at this point. He probably feels as though he's too manly to play on the team with Dwight on the lineup. It's too soft for him. I would love to see him get traded and have to go back and play against Houston. That would be interesting.
See, but that's why he's stepping up his bitch game a little bit, because Kevin McHale kind of ditched the Twin Tower approach, and he's been demoted, so he's not getting minutes like you said. So now he's really disgruntled and wants to leave. Andy, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, the whole Howard and Sheik playing together was never going to work. It's a nice theory to think about the Twin Towers or whatever you want to call it, the two big guys holding down the paint. But Dwight Howard's just not athletically gifted enough to guard a four, and neither is a Sheik. Neither of them are going to get the job done. So it's nice on paper, but it's not going to work. Frank, you kept talking about a Sheik going to the Pelicans. The Pelicans in lieu of Ryan Anderson, which would probably work. Dwight and him are familiar. He spreads the floor. That's kind of what you need. I think if they're going to trade a Sheik, they need to get, first of all, they need to get somebody who can play, probably a starter, and they probably, I would assume, need a stretch guy, or that's what they're going to want, because you don't need a second guy down there clogging up the paint with Dwight. Dwight's just going to, complain further if that's the case. So you don't want a post-up guy.
Speaking of the Pelicans, they beat the shenanigans out of my Sixers the other night.
Oh,
and Ryan Anderson, in his first game of the season, he did what he does. And I don't understand why they kept allowing him to be wide open to do what he does. But B. Austin, what are your thoughts on the whole Omer Asik and him wanting out even more?
My assumption is that Omer Asik is getting tired of going in the locker room and there being pink everywhere to celebrate the white, and there being soft music being played.
Just
on the
hold
court,
on, I'm coming on.
on the court, the Twin Towers thing, it sounded nice, and it even had me fooled for a moment. But then, thinking of where the league is going, when you've got a lot of quote unquote stretch fours, Dwight's not going out there. Dwight's not going out there. Omer Asik, it's impossible for him to go out there. So, it's time to fly the coop.
All right. But why? I just don't understand. Maybe, Frank, you can tell me, why does Omer Asik think he's that good where he can...
Because Dwight is that soft. Dwight is so soft, he inspires.
He averaged 10 and 11 last year.
Yeah, it's his position. He plays at a position where, there's not too many good big men in the league, so he has value.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
He's a valuable asset.
Yeah, but he's playing with Dwight Howard, so why can't he accept the backup role?
Well, the problem is that they're not even playing him 15 minutes a game. And the problem with the whole Twin Towers thing is you can't play lineups for a long period of time that you cannot play at the end of the game. So, you can't get the confidence up that this is your best lineup on the floor and have them work together, and then the last 6 minutes of the game you can't play them because neither one of them can shoot free throws.
Collectively, they shoot 65%.
Yeah, you're going to have, the choice of hack a Sheik or hack a Howard at the end of the game, so you can't play them together. So I've been saying, you guys know this, I've been saying it for a while. The Sheik should be traded for a stretch four. Ryan Anderson makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I just think Omer Sheik's just tired of the pop, lock, and drops that Dwight Howard's doing in pregame.
But I definitely
That's
think
pretty
he has
much it.
value. I think he definitely has value, Dev, in this league. At his position, he doesn't really have to accept being a backup because he can start on a number of teams in this league.
Oh, yeah. He
Plays
starts
good
on the
defense.
Pelicans right now. You make that trade, and he's the starting
Not the
center on the
Sixers
Pelicans.
because Spencer.
He's a
Hall
very
is
good
the
he's a man defender. He's a very good man defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he can rebound. He can rebound the ball.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we'll see how this whole saga plays out. Let's take it above the border, to north of the border real quick, to Toronto. Let's talk a little bit about Rudy Gay, because I know in some past episodes and just some past conversations that we've all had, we spoke about how when Memphis got rid of Rudy Gay, it was a good thing at the time, but it kind of seemed like when the playoffs came around, they kind of needed that guy who could freelance a little bit on the court. Okay, he's taken his act to Toronto, and this season he's averaging 19.7 a game, but he's only shooting 37%
Damn.
floor. Is Rudy helping anything up there, or is he just up there volume shooting?
No, he's a volume shooter, and he's one of those guys. He's kind of a second tier or third tier star. He is good in and of himself. His skill set, it has to be matched on a team that needs what he brings to the table, because he's not going to play D. He's not a particularly great rebounder. He does one thing, and he does one thing very well. He has a particular set of skills, and that has to be fit into a team where other people are doing the other things.
Yo, I hate that phrase, volume shooter. I feel like that was made as an excuse for people who just can't shoot very well, but they love to continue to shoot. So we just made up something called them volume shooters.
Swaggy P.
Word to Swaggy P. But it's just funny because the fact that he plays up there in Toronto is like, a lot of attention is not paid to what he's doing, because let's just face it,
It's
the
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Rudy Gay trade was the further conspiracy of American sports to just give other countries bad teams, like how in the NFL with London, like we just send like the 0-6 teams over there. I think that's what the Rudy Gay trade was. We're like, oh yeah, this guy's good, he's a superstar, don't worry about it. Oh wait, he shoots 37 times a game and he only shoots like 12%. So
No,
don't worry.
say that now until they get Wiggins next year.
Yeah, but that is a shame, Frank. Talk about the NFL, how they're going to keep sending the Jacksonville Jaguars over to London. That's a shame. I think they're basically just trying to, look, say if a plane goes down, we won't miss them that much. It's not me.
Not me. You took it there.
I'm just saying. Andy, what are your thoughts on?
They're like, it's only Blaine Gabbert. Don't worry about it.
Blaine Gabbert is another dude that listens to Drake. But go ahead, Andy.
I mean, I think that I've been kind of well documented the last couple of years. We used to do our King's Court podcast, Frank and I. I'm not a big Rudy Gay fan. I never have been. I thought in Memphis he couldn't even do what he was supposed to do there some of the time, and he was making $17 million per season. And I don't think he's a particularly great shot creator. I think that he is a pretty athletic player. I mean, he can shoot the ball, but I think his IQ is in the basement.
Damn.
I feel like, for what it's worth, he's kind of a poor man. He's a more athletic, poor man version of Carmelo Anthony in a lot of ways.
Very
and
poor.
now in Toronto, he's getting the chance to shoot the ball a lot. As we're in Memphis, he didn't necessarily always get to do that. But I remember last season I watched the game when he was still with Memphis. They had a game against the Pacers, and it was a great game. I live tweeted the game, and he got the ball. They had time, like a second and a half. He dribbled a whole bunch of times and then shot the ball way too late and made it. And that was like the worst thing ever, because it was a game winner had he just not done all the over dribbling. Yeah, like, where's your IQ, man?
It's one of those things that they go, oh, okay.
Andy,
he's a great fantasy asset, but he's a goofball.
Andy, he's supposed to be the franchise player, and we sitting here talking about dribbling.
about dribbling.
I guess I didn't realize how bad. I guess I never realized how bad Rudy Gay was. Like I never thought he was worth $17 million by any means, but
Yeah.
I at least thought he was like a $9 million
No,
player.
you know why? You know why? Because he has all of the talent and tools to be a premier player. But as Andy alluded to, the IQ, and I don't even know if it's just IQ or it's selfish nature. Because like from a team concept type of thing, I've seen on possessions in Memphis where when they go back on D, like he goes to the bench and sits down, and then he gets back up when they're going on offense. Like, dude doesn't do anything but score.
He seems like the kind of guy that gets off the court and is like looking for the nearest bank to just cash his check and just go home.
And they're paired him with DeMar DeRozan, who's essentially the same sort of player. I mean, I think DeMar's a good player,
dumb.
but
he's just dumb he's just dumb and athletic.
Damn.
It's not his fault.
It's like the slander rappers hour, like
but they're both the same kind of guy. They're just scorers. They don't really give you a whole lot more than score the basketball.
All this
all right, but let's put it like this. Here's the bottom line. The bottom line is he's playing for the Raptors. So what else are you supposed to do but go for self? He's going to put up numbers.
Yo, all this being said, there's no way that Masai's going to trade Rudy Gay for like 2 first-round picks and like Brandon Knight to the Milwaukee Bucks. And he's going to convince him that it's a good idea.
Absolutely.
They got a nice arena though. Oh, but
shout out to Brandon Knight.
Yo, shout out to Toronto.
Yo, rest in peace.
I'm not sure what the comments were, but I know you guys were talking about it earlier. If you guys want to tell the audience, didn't LeBron weigh in on Rudy Gay and his shooting?
Yeah, LeBron said he could score like at least 60 points if he shot 37 times. I feel like he probably could have. Why not? Why couldn't he have scored 60 points?
The very worst thing about that statement, it's LeBron kind of showing Rudy Gay up, but it's absolutely true.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely true.
That's not what I expected from B. Austin. I was waiting for him to kind of
more slander.
Flip that to LeBron slander.
Jimmy got y'all programmed. For the record, all y'all that are watching, I acknowledge that LeBron is the greatest basketball player in the world right now. I just don't think that absolves him of my criticism. So I keep firing shots.
Which is what?
He listens to Drake. He's another one of those Drake.
I think we found a show title. LeBron listens to Drake. But yo,
well, he shoots 62%.
He came to the arena with a purse.
Kevin Love listens to Drake.
But it was Dwayne Wade's purse. It was Dwayne Wade's purse.
So he's Dwayne Wade's girlfriend.
He carrying Dwayne Wade's purse.
Did you see LeBron go 1-on-5 like 8 times in his the game against the Celtics, yo?
Trying to prove a point.
It's the Celtics.
I get that.
I might go 1-on-5.
Y'all don't
I'm slow.
even know why he was doing that, but I'm gonna tell you exactly why.
Y'all
know Jordan Crawford was the dude that dunked on him in his camp, right?
Oh, that's right.
He's still mad at him.
They take it personal. Yeah, it's
got the vendetta
still. Jordan Crawford's existence personal.
He's trying to Jason Terry him.
Yeah.
Because Nike tried to burn them tapes.
And Jordan Crawford.
I saw the video
Jordan Crawford's best game, he gave the Heat 40 as a Washington Wizard. Now they did still lose by 10, but he gave them 40.
Hey Jimmy,
LeBron
was like Kane, like stop showing the fucking tape. All right, man, let's take it back down below the border. Let's take it up in you guys' area. Let's take it to New York, man. What's going on with the Knickerbockers, man? They are 3-6 right now. You got the coach making, just moves off the cuff. You got J.R. Smith in the starting lineup now. You got Carmelo Anthony ripping his teammates. You have Tyson Chandler going down and they not being able to replace him on the roster because J.R. Smith's brother's on the roster. There's some conspiracy theories going on about that because they wouldn't cut
the check.
What's going on with the Knicks? Somebody tell me.
Nepotism is alive and well in the United States of America, man. There's nothing more American than getting a job for your brother. I respect him for that. I am not a Knicks fan.
Steph Curry couldn't do it.
It doesn't bother me because I'm not a Knicks fan. I find it extremely hilarious. Melo, just come to LA, baby. You might as well just come to LA. Yo, Melo is on his way to Los Angeles, man. And I know it's the 6th man, but he sucked him up and got his brother a job, man. You gotta respect him for that, yo.
He took less money See, now I understand what his contract looks like. See, Earl took less money to get his brother on that roster.
Loyalty before royalty, man. He got his brother a gig.
All right, but what do you guys think is the problem with the Knicks? Why are they 3-6?
Yo, their team just isn't good. I mean,
No, it's not. They're terrible.
And the thing about it is, to me, and I was telling you guys on our podcast, I said the biggest problem with the Knicks is the point guard play. They have guys on their team that can score, that can shoot, but they have no one that can create their own shot. They need someone to create the shot.
They got Frigioni.
Yeah, you know what would have been nice? You know who could create his own shot is Jeremy Lin, the guy that they gave away for free. But whatever. I'm not.
He can't run the offense.
Like Jeremy Lin,
but he can create his own shot. He can
but
get shots.
when you look
a lot
at
of them
that
against
team,
my Sixers
when you look at that team, he would
36
fit
points.
there. Yo, in the words of my man Avery Johnson, they got Banyani who can shoot, but he can't create his own shot either. Melo needs someone to create shots for him. They have a bunch of players. Only one that can create their own shot on the team is J.R. Smith, and he's erratic and out of control, and he creates his own shot. So
Cornbread Earl and Midge.
Cornbread. You want to know who the problem is? The problem is Mike Woodson. It's what it's been. He only knows one offensive set, and that's the ISO. He did it with Joe Johnson for 100 years. He does it with Melo. I mean, he's had the players to do it. But he can't play another offense. And I've had Knicks fans argue with me till they're blue in the face, but they're wrong.
So they're Knicks fans.
That's what we're
Yo, the only player on their team that even cares about defense is hurt. You know, so they're just bad.
Shumpert cares about this.
Shumpert plays defense, but only one of them players on their team cares about defense.
But they disrespect Shumpert all the time too. That dude's name is in the trade rumors more than anybody I've ever seen in the NBA.
I agree. Yo, he's almost traded every day.
They were going to trade him for Kenneth Faried, like that was going to fix it. All that dude can do is run to the basket.
Yo, there's no way he doesn't live out of a suitcase.
Yo, Kenneth Faried is in the league for his energy and because dreadlocks are popular.
But that ain't going to help the Knicks.
I mean, it might. Have you seen the healthy Knicks big people over like 6'9"?
But he's 6'7".
Yeah, but the problem is what he brings to the table is not what the Knicks are missing. I mean, he may have a little bit.
He sucks.
They kind of miss a guy with energy and that can rebound the ball.
They are missing an energy guy though.
Listen, man.
But I just don't think that's the right one.
I mean, I don't think
Shumpert's
it's a good trade because I think Shumpert's the second best player on that team, to be honest, with Chandler out.
That's man. Bad then.
Yo,
so Meadows first.
There it is. That's why they're bad. If Shumpert's your second best player.
Yeah, if Shumpert's your second best player.
No disrespect to Shumpert, but if he's
Aldridge is getting minutes at center, that's a problem.
Yo, man, in the words of Eric B, what happened to Peace? I mean, he's there for, right? That's what Meta World Peace is there for, man.
Meta's collecting a check too. What good is he doing? I thought he was going to be beating people up, and he's not even doing that.
The problem is the team doesn't make sense. The team doesn't make sense on paper. There's too many shooters and not enough defense. Everybody wants to shoot the ball.
Well,
they don't have anybody.
No post.
He scared Tyler Hansbrough, so he made his check that week.
And I said this for the whole time. J.R. Smith is the kind of guy that once you pay him, all bets are off. Like, if he's in a contract year, he's going to pass. You know, he's going to be a good teammate.
So imagine what happens. Imagine what happens when you pay him and his brother.
Yeah, you give him $20 million. He's like, all right, that's cool.
You know what's funny, man? If I look at J.R. Smith, when I tune into a Knicks game, I tune in for entertainment. And I tune in to see Melo go for 50, J.R. Smith go for 40, and the Knicks lose. Like, that's entertainment. And not really to pile up on Earl, but yeah, Earl's a rat. If he played for the Sixers, I probably would have given Earl a run. Like, we could fight because he is very frustrating.
If he played for the Sixers, he'd be the best player on the team.
Yeah. That's true.
All right, well.
That would be the bad part, though. If somebody told him you're the best player on the team, I don't even want to see what would happen.
That would be terrible. Yeah, it'd be Rudy Gay. That's Rudy Gay.
Plus, he
bring like 3 of his brothers to the Sixers.
I'm about to say, he's bringing his brothers with him, yo. It's a package deal.
He'd probably give Seth Curry a job, too.
His aunt will be the general manager.
Family reunion night, every night at MSG.
You joke about that, right? But watch when it's time, wait when it's time for him to re-up again.
Yo, I know this court vision, but I just want to
that's what the problem is. What the problem is, J.R. Smith done set a precedent. Like, LeBron is going to have half of Akron playing on his next team.
Yo, LeBron's going to have his 9-year-old son on the team. School
No, he
kids.
can play. He can play.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that DRC is animal fat.
What you talking about? All right, let's talk about real quick before we get out of here. Kevin Durant had some words on young Mr. Andrew Wiggins, freshman at Kansas. Said that Wiggins could be a Hall of Famer. Jumping the gun, or do you guys really think that this guy is that talented that we could start saying things like that before he even steps foot into the
Yeah, there's no way you can say things like that. The only person that's actually had that much hype and lived up to it is LeBron James. Like, he's the only person I can remember where you were like, this dude's going to be a Hall of Famer, and then he got on the court, and you're like, dude's a Hall of Famer.
But I'm saying you could say he's going to be pushing carts at Walmart in 3 weeks too, and I mean you might not be wrong.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You can say anything.
People thought Greg Oden was going to be a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
They
know
just said that
because
because he looked like Bill Russell. I mean,
I know this is a different sport, but
look like they're the
beginning of the
same
season
age.
in football, didn't y'all say that Colin Kaepernick was going to be one of the top 5 quarterbacks ever?
That's what Jaws was saying.
he
Yeah, get
said
out of
he
here.
could.
I mean, and
Ugh.
that obviously it's no slight on Wiggins. Like, first of all, he's not the one saying it. He's just.
Austin said the best thing. He said that I don't want to quote you wrong, but he said something about he could be, like a Paul George or a Tracy McGrady, which I completely agree with. I was saying the same thing myself. I mean, the build, the talent, the ceiling is all there.
Listen,
I can look at him right now today, and I don't know where it's going to go. We've seen in the past players of this talent level, this athleticism, this skill go either way. So at this point, it's way too early to judge who and what he is. I see all of the talent and the ability, but I also am able to see that he does not know how to play basketball yet. So that in and of itself is scary. That's a scary thing because
So you're saying he could be LeBron James or Tim Thomas?
LeBron James or Danny Granger.
Or either one.
Or no, I'm sorry. What was the 7 foot?
Danny Granger's an all-star.
yeah, Danny Granger. I
keep
like
pointing that out to you.
I think Tim Thomas is a great analogy because Tim Thomas had like all the skills in the world, but didn't know how to play the game, and he
he's
just
the
never
other
learned.
side.
Darius Miles.
Or Darius Miles.
What was the
Never
7 foot dude?
Soon
that
to
the
be
Pacers
DeMarcus
had?
Cousins.
What was the 7 foot dude the Pacers had? He was
Damn.
7
You
and
better stop, Frank.
Played the small forward.
Did you
Oh, you're talking about Jonathan
Be
Bender?
Austin.
Jonathan Bender.
Be
I
Austin.
never believed that hype in the first place.
Hold up, though, Be Austin. We got to
He
get
wanted to
this
shoot
Frank
Jays
said.
all day.
Frank, what did you just say about DeMarcus Cousins?
I said DeMarcus Cousins, soon to be somebody that had all the talent in the world but didn't know how to play the game of basketball, is an absolute head case,
No,
and might
man.
be out of the league in 3 years.
No.
Damn.
He
I think
knows
he
how to play
knows
the
how
game
to
of
play.
basketball.
Yeah, he knows
No.
how to play. He's
He
just
knows how to
a
play.
head case. You were right on the head case.
He's a kid, for sure a head case. He knows how to play.
Frank,
Wiggins
he
is
gets,
just
he
raw
gets
talent,
20
right?
and 10 being lazy and not trying.
Not trying.
So,
yeah.
and at 7 feet, he'll always have a job.
Yo, yeah, somebody's going to pay him whether he deserves it or not. He'll have a check coming for a while. Here's my thing with Kevin Durant, like calling someone a Hall of Famer before they get to the next level. Yo, I just don't like it. I like when players disrespect each other and play mind games. I would be disrespecting him now. I'll be disrespecting him now, knowing he'll be my competition next year. Like,
Well, these
I'll be-
dudes,
Yeah, but they're gonna be getting
Jimmy,
pedicures, too, with LeBron, spa days.
We live in a time when they're looking to recruit these guys to be friends and go out
Yep.
at the
I
club
know,
and come
yo.
play
See,
with me.
I grew up watching the Pistons, the Celtics, and yo,
True.
you would be dissing the guy like, yo, he may not even make it to the league. That's the kind of stuff you would say back then.
Yo, when,
Isaiah Thomas
when-
said Larry
You know who I love?
would be an average player if he was a black guy.
Exactly.
What Jordan and Pippen did to Tony Kukoc in the Olympics.
Andy, you
That-
took it
see,
right
that's what I'm
out
talking
of my
about.
mind.
And they
That-
already
that-
knew he was going to be
that-
on the team.
They
Because
wanted to
sports-
kill him.
Sports is mental warfare at some point, but that part is all gone now. Everybody's like you said, they're going to get pedicures together next year.
It's
They're gonna-
AAU.
They're going to
They-
work on their games together in the off season anyway, whether they play on the same team or not.
And
Yeah.
then a lot of these guys give out compliments so easy because they're trying to make themselves look better. Like if he's a Hall of Famer, then I must be
Yeah,
goddamn
Yeah.
all-world, all-timer. Like,
it's official, yo. Kevin Durant also listens to Drake.
I mean, he's practicing with LeBron right
I
now.
don't think there's too
On
many
his
people
off
that
night.
don't listen to Drake anymore. I think it's like Zebo, Reggie Evans.
Hold up. How about the Memphis Grizzlies? Because Tony Allen doesn't either.
Yo,
Yeah, they listen to
Dark Skinned Jermaine
DMX.
Yo, you can't play Drake in the Memphis Grizzlies locker room.
Yo, I think Tony Allen has an NBA contract, but he would still run a jukes on somebody and rob him.
He beat up OJ Mayo. Yeah,
ask OJ Mayo.
Tony Allen still listens to DMX in the locker room, yo. But go ahead, Dad.
So we're gonna, see what happens this week in the NBA. By the way, last week the NBA Players of the Week was Paul George and Markieff Morris. That was kind of
Philly support Philly.
So this has been another episode of Court Vision. Like we always tell you, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the page. Make sure you leave comments because, like Andy told you guys earlier, you're probably going to be wrong, but we'll tell you that you're wrong. We'll engage you in conversation. So go ahead and leave some comments down there. Let us know your thoughts on everything we talked about, the Omar situation, Rudy Gay, does he shoot too much, the Knicks, what's wrong with the Knicks
locker room?
Kevin Durant saying that Wiggins can be a Hall of Famer when he hasn't stepped foot on an NBA court yet. So make sure you let us know your thoughts on all of that stuff. We'll talk to you guys next week. Like we always tell you, don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
We shall see you chumps on top.
Ban Drake.
No Drake in the locker room.
It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.